What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast. Blah, 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 blah. Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. And that's how we're starting this episode off. It's supposed to be more
I
season previews, more division previews for you guys, but not today. Damian Lillard got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks this afternoon. And me and Jake are here on Happy Hour Hoops to talk about it. Jake, what do you got, dude? Dame is no longer in the Western Conference. He's now partners with Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Milwaukee Bucks. How scary is this duo?
you sent out I think you sent out the Shaq and Kobe tweet right away.
I did.
Right? Yes, and that's the conversations I was having early on. And I really don't think that that's underselling what the potential of this is. Now it's not a young Damian Lillard, which is the biggest thing. I think that is the biggest risk of this is that Dame is obviously an older guard, and this is a win now, win in the next 2 years move. But man, it's two top 75 players of all time on the same roster. And Damian Lillard, who has argument to be, not named Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of this generation, like has that argument now, putting him on the floor all the time with Giannis. I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like. And I'm going to refresh quick so you keep going.
Yeah, man. My initial thoughts were just wow. None of us saw this coming. First off, it was Miami all summer, and then even more recently, it was the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors have been in talks all summer and are trying to acquire Dame. And then within the last couple of weeks, it was the Boston Celtics and a few other teams. You know, they're the front runners if a deal can't get done to Miami. I don't ever remember there really being a time where Giannis and the Bucks were mentioned to be in on the mix here. Once the trade happened, I did start to see all those videos surface of previous All-Star games where Giannis and Dame were teammates, and Giannis saying all these great things about Dame. But other than that, like leading up to this, one of the last teams I would have thought would have made a move for Dame. You know, maybe it makes a little more sense thinking about the comments that Giannis has made in the last couple of weeks, and maybe this is the organization making a move to keep their now first superstar happy. So yeah, I mean, I was taken aback by it. Of course, as the Celtics fan on this podcast, my initial thoughts was just stacking up how they look against my squad, and I think as it stands right now on paper, I think, they're probably the new favorite to win the East. We'll get into that when we talk about, actually get into the thick of things here. But yeah, those were my first couple things, just like how blindsided I was by it, and then kind of comparing it to my own team, and then just how shocked I was, and how shocked you already saw from Jimmy Butler that he's not a member of the Heat, and that dream and that wish never ended up coming to fruition. So who knows? Like, do you think Damian Lillard is all the way in on this? I mean, obviously he's happy he's going to be playing with Giannis, but he is leaving Portland, and it is not to the team that he requested. So like, where do you think Dame's at in this?
I mean, so there's some of the reporting that Dame, the last 10 days or so, I think this came out a couple hours ago, Marcus Spears said that he opened it up to Milwaukee and Brooklyn because the Miami trade talks weren't going anywhere. And that seems to be like consistent with what the talks we heard all summer were about Miami, is that the offer was shit the whole time, right? Like the Milwaukee offer was, or the Miami offer was never up to snuff. Everybody's looking at it like, damn, is that really what like Portland's about to take from this Miami offer? Like they're going to take, Tyler Hero and a bunch of scraps for Damian Lillard. And clearly that was never the case. Like they were just not going to do that. I think Miami really fumbled the bag here on this, unless they're plotting for something else down the line. I think that an interesting name that we talked about to potentially be traded in the future is Joel Embiid, and I don't know where Miami fits into that, but the Giannis rumor came a couple days ago too. Remember where Miami was like, oh, Miami's angling for Giannis in the future, but now this clearly, like, the Bucks just swooped in and destroyed both of Miami's plans. They're like, you're not gonna get Giannis, and you're also not getting Dame. So it's an interesting thing. But my instant reaction really was just about, it wasn't about Miami. It wasn't anything. It was my instant reaction right as the trade happened was Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the court is one of the best duos I will watch in my life. I believe no matter what happens, whether they win a title or not, they're going to be one of the best duos to ever step on the floor together. And I don't think anybody can really, I think it's hard to talk about right now, like how good they could possibly be, because these are two historically great players, and offensively, like, the sky could be the limit, especially with Budenholzer, like, especially not with like Budenholzer, but the spread out offense that they've run with Budenholzer in the past, and like still ran it last year. Like, they still had those core tenets of wanting to put Giannis in space with shooters around him. Now that he has like one of the greatest shooters ever and has Chris Middleton's job as a shooter is so much easier. Like, Chris Middleton is the biggest winner of the day because he just probably made like 20 million extra dollars the rest of his career. You know what I'm saying? Like, his life just got extended so much. So like, it really helps. Like, I just think Giannis and Lillard together could be like kind of transcendent. And that might be where like, I just don't know. You know how highly I thought of Giannis was going to play this year. And I feel like the trajectory just shifted, actually.
Yeah, and it's crazy you bring up Middleton because we just had our Central Division preview the other day, and we were talking about who is most likely to be traded on the Bucks, and we said, well, we wouldn't be all that surprised if it was Giannis, because that's been the rumors. But I said it's probably going to be Chris Middleton. And here you are explaining to me now about how he actually has an incredible chance to kind of revive his career, because Middleton's job just got so much easier, like you laid out. And before we get too much further into this, I do want to just lay out the full trade, because we've kind of just been talking about Dame to the Bucks. I'm sure most people know for the most part, but obviously Dame is going to Milwaukee. He's on the Bucks now. The Blazers, who I thought made out like bandits like this. It's a little different because they don't plan to keep Drew Holiday, is what we're hearing now. But Blazers get in return Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, 2029 first round Bucks pick, and a Bucks pick swap. And then the Suns, who snuck their way into this trade, a 3-teamer, Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen ends up on the Suns. So I don't know. I have weird feelings about this trade in a couple of different ways. I just laid out the full trade for them. I guess you want to talk briefly about these 3 teams, or obviously we're going to talk about the Bucks mostly, but you want to talk about Blazers and Suns here a little bit?
Yes.
I don't really understand why the Suns got involved in this trade. Maybe I'm sure the Bucks and Blazers are happy they did. Maybe this third team needed to happen for this deal to get done. I'm just not sure why the Suns wanted to force their way into it. I don't know how much better their bench actually got, and you gave away Ayton, who maybe there was just still an issue with Ayton in the organization. Maybe it wasn't Monty Williams. Maybe it's more than that. But I don't know. Going from DeAndre Ayton to Nurkic and then getting a few guys who will, at the most log 10 minutes a game for you. I don't know how this makes the Suns better. What's your thinking on the Phoenix Suns after this trade?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the same major issues still exist with the Suns, right? Like one of my friends sent me a tweet of like the Suns projected starting lineup, and they still don't really have a point guard. Like, that's not a guy that got brought. Grayson Allen isn't running point. Like, these are like, they still have structural issues, and I don't think Nas Little and Grayson Allen fixed. I love Nas Little. Don't get me wrong. I think he's probably the best addition of this. Nurkic has not been able to be healthy the last couple of years. So in theory, like, he's a good addition, but how much is he actually going to be on the floor? And Grayson Allen, we know what we're getting out of him, but he's a good shooter to have and a good guy that they're going to need to play a lot of minutes. I think the Ayton thing, though, like, he just didn't want to be there anymore. And I don't think those guys fucked with him. I feel like that's what it was as much as anything. And whether that's a good reason to trade him, and I don't know if it is. And I think that him and Scoot together in Portland, especially with Drew Holiday's probably getting moved out of there, but him and Scoot together in Portland could be a great mix together, and especially a place that will embrace him too. So I think everybody won this trade. I really do. Like, I think the Suns, the Ayton thing, like, it's a loss because you traded away, you know, a number 1 pick and it didn't work out, and you basically got nothing out of it. But they basically were like, they have they've made all these other moves around it where it's like, okay, you can kind of live with it. For the and for the Blazers, like, you just added, you know, an asset in Drew Holiday who you can maybe spin into more picks, or maybe another guy that you actually kind of like with your core. And you just, like, who knows what Ayton is going to actually be. Maybe this is the guy he is the rest of his career, but now you can actually see he's going to be the focus of this team with Scoot. Like, he is going to have a prominent role, and you'll find out one way or another. So I think it's a good bet, definitely, for Portland.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know if the Portland organization was thinking this, or if, you know, anyone on this team or who had anything to do with this trade saw this at all, but it does kind of remind me of the Blazers from back in the day. You know, Brandon Roy, Damian at the beginning of Damian Lillard's career, kind of the tail end of LaMarcus Aldridge's days in Portland. Like, they got themselves a LaMarcus Aldridge type big. And, you know, maybe some people might think that's insulting to LaMarcus Aldridge. DeAndre Ayton is a very good basketball player. He is not showing up at big moments, which you can knock him for that. He's not gotten along with teammates. He's not gotten along with coaches. You can knock him for that as well. But this is still a young, legit 7-footer who's crazy athletic. He's gotten better offensively every year. He has good hands. And now he's going to be playing alongside Scoot, like you mentioned. Drew probably won't be there. That's all the reports are coming out, is they're trying to trade Drew Holiday as quickly as possible. But even if he does get moved, it's going to be a pretty good haul in return.
Yeah, for
sure.
Or
Drew Holiday stays there, and you have a great defensive point guard, 2 amazing young offensively minded guards, and then DeAndre Ayton, along with, you know, the bulk that they already have. I don't mind Portland's team. And not only, you know, does their future look brighter from making this deal, they're not going to be a bad team this year, I don't think, either. So Portland found themselves in a pretty nice spot, if you ask me.
I agree. I like the way Portland got involved in this and maximized it. Like, getting Ayton out of this is it's a better pull to get than they would have had with, like, Tyler Hero and whatever else Miami was going to offer, which I think that's really what it comes down to, is, like, everybody thought it was just going to be this Miami offer, and Portland waited and found a better offer, and Milwaukee is the beneficiary. And it's crazy that it happened, but also, like, you know, Miami kind of fucked up. Like, they dropped the ball here. They could have probably had him with a better offer. He's the only place he wanted to go, and the season got closer. And Dame wanted to have his shit figured out and wanted to go somewhere and know where he was going, you know, and push came to shove. And we talked about that, I feel like, on this podcast before too. Like, the fact that we're talking about it with Dame, and we talked about it with Harden specifically. Like, once you come back to training camp, you have to see everybody and actually be there. Like, that's when conflict will start again, because you actually have to, like, put it into motion and figure it out and go about that. And Dame was about to come back to camp, was like, I'm not staying in Portland. Like, I know that, so I have to do something else. We heard all the offers. We heard, you know, the Raptors were a team, whatever. Who knows where that actually came from? Because clearly, at least from Dame's side, he said it was down to Milwaukee and Brooklyn, and Milwaukee's the one who came away with the best offer. And it makes a lot of sense for him to want to be in Milwaukee. I mean, if without anything else, like, of all the teams he could have went, all the places he could have gone, and all the trades that could have been made, it's Dame and Giannis, and you kind of just have to, like, when you look at the landscape of the league right now in the East and the West, anything, like those two guys on the court, it's just hard to argue with that, because it's right now it's a league of duos. It's a league of, like, we weren't expecting the Nuggets to go on as crazy of a run as they were last year. Like, it's wide open more than ever, and the Bucks just added to their fastball. That's really just what happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so let's go off of that. I want to ask you, and I'm kind of leaning this way, but I'm not sure because there's still some things that I question about this Bucks roster. But I mean, does this automatically put in, and you may have had it this way before, I'm not sure, but does this automatically solidify the Bucks as the best team in the East right now, you think?
Well, yeah, I had them. I mean, I picked over on them last week. I picked them to go number one. So, like, I already had them in this
Yeah.
spot. So, yeah, I feel a lot better about it. There are definitely question marks, and injuries and age still are the same. Age is still the biggest question. Like, Dame doesn't make them younger. So that's not, like, it
Right.
doesn't reassure me on that. But I feel like Dame's basketball life is also extended because he gets to, like, think of how hard it was for Dame to, like, have, like, it's never been hard for Damian Lillard to create offense, but think of the attention that's been paid to him his whole career, like, as the main creator. Even with CJ, like, Dame was the focus of the offense
Yeah.
on that team, and he was the engine that made it go, and he just doesn't need to do that anymore. And I still think he's going to be the number one option in Milwaukee. I think that's something that's going to be crazy to people, is Giannis is maybe not the number one taking the most shots and trying to get the most points. I think that'll be Dame's role, because I think Giannis, where they will try to go defensively, is put more on Giannis's plate defensively, because now they have a guy that can help him offensively. You know what I mean? Like, Giannis doesn't have to carry the scoring load every night. He's going to have to some nights, but not every night. Dame can go off for 50 on his own. And now with Giannis on the floor all the time, Dame's life is like, their lives have never been easy. They're honestly, like, I think Dame said it a year ago. I saw a quote. It was in a GQ thing, and they were like, if you could play with one player, who would it be? And he said Giannis. He's like, I think our game would complement each other perfectly. And that's how I feel too. And it was the same thoughts about when we, have ever talked about Giannis playing with Curry, or like that kind of thing, if he was going to the Warriors. It's the same kind of concept in my mind, that we've heard the word gravity used way too often, but imagine the gravity of Giannis and Dame on the court together. Like, it's pretty fucking terrifying to try to think of, like, certain situations that they are going to be able to put you in if they want to. So I think the upside is too great to not be excited about where they'll be in the East and just have them there. But all the questions that remained about this team, or that we had about this team, remain. They're all the same. This team is still old. Dame is 33 years old. Giannis still has a contract up. If it goes terrible this year, who says he doesn't leave? And then you just have an old Damian Lillard and old Chris Middleton. Like, this is a risk.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. This is not without risk. So that could be where it comes down. Like, they could win the title this year, and then Dame falls off a cliff next year, and you're screwed, basically. But
Yeah.
you win the title, it's like,
yeah, I think if they win the title, I think it's a win regardless.
yeah.
Especially if it happens the year they make the trade for him.
They just doubled down. They did the Drew trade, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we just have to double down. We have to go
just
all in again."
Improving Giannis's point guards. It is so true though, because since either of them have been superstars, their job will never be easier than it's going to be this season. Like,
yeah.
I think Giannis makes Dame's life on the court so much easier, and vice versa. I think Giannis will not have, every game won't be so taxing for him like it has been the last 3 years. And that's why we think he's so incredible, because he puts his body through hell on the court every night, and he finishes with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists. And then he plays, high 70s in game totals by the end of the year. And we're like, how is this guy doing this? It won't have to be like that anymore. Giannis is still going to be Giannis. He's still going to be dominant, but it's just going to be such a relief to have a guy like Damian Lillard who can just get you a bucket, and you don't have to rely on Giannis missing 7 threes in a game, because he won't be shooting 7 threes in a game this year. I can almost promise you that. I doubt there'll be any game where he shoots even close to that many outside shots.
This is going to be Giannis's closest year to being Shaq. Giannis is not going to leave the paint. They don't need him to leave. Like Brook Lopez can stand in the corner. Don't let Giannis shouldn't touch the outside because you don't need him to. Like he can. I just imagine imagine you try to blitz Damian Lillard after he crosses half court and he just dishes it off to Giannis, who has a 4-on-3 now. Or like, you know, they double Giannis at any point and he has Middleton at the corner and Dame at the top of the key. And then, you know, it's whoever else, like if Brook Lopez is over, like it's their offense has already been scary, even with Drew Holiday there. And I just feel like, I don't know. Defensively, there are definitely going to be concerns, especially in a playoff matchup, but regular season wise, game to game, watching this team, like imagine when the Bucks play, like, I don't know, the Wizards this year. It's going to be fucking disgusting. They're going to beat a team by like 70 this year. They're going to have a game with like 150 points just because it's too easy for them. That's what I'm most excited about.
You could have stopped it there just because.
Just because they feel like it. Yeah. Dame could have like a crazy scoring game this year because like his life is just gonna be, he's gonna have more space ever.
And that's fucked up because he had a 70-point game last year.
That's what I mean. He could get 75 this year with Giannis on the floor, and Giannis is like, yeah, man, whatever. Like, I just feel like it's so easy for them now.
Yeah, it seems that way, and I'm with you. I think the biggest negatives potentially are probably just what Milwaukee's done to their future. But if they get another ring, I don't think they'll care. My biggest thing, I think on paper, and if injuries weren't a thing, that they're hands down the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. I just worry about giving up your best defensive player by far, I think, in Drew Holiday. And I don't think that's a knock on Giannis to say. I just think that's a credit to how good Drew Holiday is on the defensive end. I think
how about the fact that Drew said yesterday in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel that he wanted to retire a Milwaukee Buck and they gets traded the next day. That's a cold world out here.
Exactly. So it's just bad vibes there, one. But I'm not gonna knock them for that. But that is bad vibes, and it sucks. It's honestly eerily similar to the Boston Marcus Smart situation. You go out, you try to attempt to get a unicorn in the league. You go out, you get a guy like KP, you get a guy like Dame Lillard. Sometimes it means trading away the heart and soul or the fan favorite or whatever the case may be. But it also happens that both these guys were the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks' best defensive players. You send Drew Holiday out the door, who is asked to guard every best player who's a guard for you guys most of the time. And then you bring in a guy like Dame, who offensively, miles better. Everyone knows that. But you add the two things together, he plays way less games per year than Drew Holiday. He tends to miss a lot more time than Drew Holiday, and he's not even close to the defender that Drew was.
So it's interesting. We got that 2 stars rule, and those guys definitely qualify as stars in the rest rule.
True.
That's interesting. Yeah,
that's another thing to think about. Giannis isn't someone who load manages too much, but Dame has been a guy to do it in the past and has had his fair share of legit injuries too. I don't want to shit on him for missing time because sometimes it is warranted. He had that nasty abdomen injury a couple of years ago. But yeah, man, it's great on paper. I think they're probably, like I keep saying, the best team in the East on paper. But those factors do matter, and it does scare me a little bit. Like I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks got any better for matching up with the other juggernauts in the Eastern Conference come playoff time, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like I don't think they got any worse, but I just think their change of play is gonna pace of play is gonna change so much with Damian Lillard. Like it's just gonna be such a different look.
I guess the best news I can offer you as just a Celtics fan, Dunny, and not podcast host Dunny, is that the only team that can touch them in the East now is the Celtics. Now it's like
I think that's
now
true as well.
if I had a Bucks and Celtics world, now it's like a Bucks and a Celtics and an everybody else world. Like I think that's where I'm at in this, because I don't think that the Phillies, the Knicks, the Cavs of the world are going to be able to touch the Bucks with Damian Lillard and Giannis. I don't think those teams will be equipped to handle maybe one of those guys, because like the Cavs have been awesome against Giannis his whole career. They've beaten them up. Dame is a different equation. Dame's going to torch the Cavs. I can just tell you Dame's going to go off for 48 against Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. It's just going to happen. So like I think the rest of the East is where Milwaukee's going to pick up all their wins. I think Boston, well, I just feel like now the ceiling on Milwaukee's higher regular season wise, just because they can that offense is just going to torch teams. And I don't think it's going to be like an adjustment period. Like it's just, you just throw Dame out there and just, run pick and roll for the first couple months. And that's going to win you 70% of your games, at least. You know what I mean? Like as they figure each other out, that's all they're going to need. Yeah. And now he gets the whole, like, trade happened today. They get all of training camp and leading up to it. Like they're going to have a good amount of time to kind of run together and figure stuff out and everything. And you know what? There's got to be something to him picking Damian Lillard last year in the All-Star game. So these two have definitely had some sort of conversation about the thought of doing this in the future, whether they thought it was going to happen actually or not. We know how All-Star weekend works. And I love that. I'd never seen that video before until today. I didn't watch the All-Star, or I think I watched the All-Star draft in a casino, and so I didn't hear it or anything or something like that. And LeBron definitely knew what was going on there, and that's the game, bro. And it worked out for Giannis. He played it well.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, those All-Star clips were awesome. And I was gonna bring that up when you said, they have still all of training camp, and it might seem small, but those All-Star games matter, man. Like they've already gotten to know each other a bit. They know each other's character. They know how much winning means to both of them. And I think that probably came down to Dame picking the Milwaukee Bucks as one of his suitors where he wanted to go, because Giannis has been very vocal his whole career, but especially lately about how much he wants to win. And the Larry O'Brien over everything else has been his motto the last couple of weeks. So it was probably an easy decision for Dame. It's kind of cool that Dame, had his hands on this as much as he did, even though he didn't get to go to Miami, which that's a whole nother story. Jimmy Butler and the boys in Miami are pissed.
All right. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I do want to touch on that, but the one thing about Dame and Giannis that I wanted to jump in on, you said it so well, like the fact they know each other, they're like winners and everything else. Those are two fucking dogs, bro.
Yes,
those are two dogs. And if you thought, remember, we've already been talking about Giannis revenge tour. Like he's pissed, he's mad the way they went out, he's hearing all this shit, he's been keeping receipts, and now you add Damian Lillard, the pettiest motherfucker in the NBA, who has every single receipt and has been chomping at the bit to be on a winner on a contending team. And now like his motivation factor has gone up. Giannis's, whatever motivation, Giannis already at the tippy top. Now he wants to do this for Dame too and get him his ring. That's what Giannis is going to be saying at the press conference. Like, I want to win another ring, but I want to get him a ring. That's going to be like the motto, like get it for Dame. And that Milwaukee, that franchise, the city is going to rally around Dame, I think, in a crazy way too. Like even I was talking to my boy earlier, I was mentioning you at work, and he's like, man, like seeing Giannis, like people see, like Milwaukee's a small place. Like you see Giannis in public, you see Bucks players in public, everything. He's like, I feel like Dame is going to be like different. Like Dame's going to be like, when he shows up, that's just going to be a different energy. Cause it's fucking Damian Lillard, bro, in Milwaukee. He's going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with Giannis. It's crazy to think about. I will be taking 1.5-hour drives to Milwaukee this year. That's for sure. Because I need to see the greatest show in Milwaukee Bucks history live and in person at some point, man. It's gonna be an interesting thing. But Miami, Jimmy, there are some salty boys down there, bro. And I feel like they just kind of thought they had it in the bag. Yeah, I feel like they just thought they had it. They're just shook. They had no idea this was gonna happen.
That's what Jimmy Butler's video should have been captioned. Thought we had him. Because
Like,
that's all he was saying. He was saying that the Bucks were tampering. It's funny because all I've seen is people
I
just
think he was
being
fucking
like,
around. I don't think he was being serious. I think he was just like,
yeah,
"Yo, we thought this was locked,"
yeah.
But maybe he was. Go
And
ahead, keep going.
no, it's just funny because like I think he was joking too, and that probably is the joke, but like you guys were so obviously tampering the whole summer, and this was a trade that happened out of nowhere. Like, which one is tampering? You guys making the Dame Time videos, or a silent trade that happened behind the scenes? So yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It sucks for Miami fans that
Hey,
they're
yo,
Miami. The organization is the biggest loser in this 3-team trade to me, and I'll pose the same question to you because I thought DeAndre Ayton is an interesting loser in this situation. I think it's a good new beginnings for him, but it also does suck that he was about to play with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, and now he's
man,
he's going to Portland.
and there was a core like 3 years ago. It was Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. We're like, damn, these guys could run the West, and now it's
Yeah.
the core you just said, book KD and Beal. Like it's a brand new
Now
world.
it's
Life comes at
scary.
you fast. Life comes
Yeah.
at you fast. That's the lesson there for DeAndre Ayton. I think it is crazy.
So
Yeah.
who do you think's biggest loser in this? I think we know you're not taking the Blazers because we both talked about it. We actually both like this for the Blazers to a certain degree. It's got to
Yeah.
be Miami though, right? It's got to be Pat Riley and the Miami Heat.
Yeah, Dan Levitard. I mean, Dan Levitard was out there caping for like 2 months. Like this shit's done, bro. There's no way. He called Woj out. He was calling like Shams out. He's calling all these reporters out. Marcus Spears. He's calling people out like they don't know nothing. Like this shit's gonna be done. Dame's gonna go to Miami. Like I feel like it's those people, like the reporter, like everybody. And you said fans. Like the biggest losers are all the Miami fans that just thought this shit was locked. And also, like just the fact that like Portland didn't have to trade him to Miami no matter what. Like Portland should have made the best deal for them, and they waited and made the best deal for them. So Miami is definitely the biggest losers, but I also just feel like it's a self-inflicted wound. Like don't put the cart before the horse type of deal. Like there was you can't just because it's a summer of rumors, that don't mean you got him. Like you can't hang the banner for winning the Dame Lillard trade rumors during the summer. Like we see how that goes all the time. So if that's what they were banking on, then they fucked up. I feel like Pat Riley has another thing in play. There are bigger stars available. That's why I brought Embiid up earlier. Like Embiid's the next guy that I feel like is logically the big star to be traded. I don't know how he fits with Bam Adebayo at all, and that's another issue there. So maybe it isn't a fit, but they're going to be looking at whoever the next star is available. Miami is clearly going to be more desperate to do that at this point because we know that they were expecting another star to come.
I just imagine everyone in the Miami front office, like papers are flying in the air, scrambling. People are scribbling on whiteboards. Filing cabinets are being knocked over. I just assume it's chaos after this deal happens for them. And it's all wild to me because it seems like, and obviously we'll never know all the facts, but it really seems like this whole time Pat Riley just didn't want to give up Tyler Hero to get Damian Lillard, which I think is silly, especially how close this has been in the last 3 years to an NBA champion, to being NBA champions, excuse me. And you don't give up Tyler Hero for Damian Lillard. Obviously, you want the younger player a lot of the time. I just don't think that's the move. I think especially if Jimmy wanted Dame that bad, you make it happen. You have a big three of Jimmy, Bam, and Dame, and you let it play out. So
maybe Jimmy's the one who wouldn't let Hero go. Maybe that's because Hero
called him just as silly as Pat Riley.
Hero quote tweeted and said the same thing as Jimmy too. So like it's weird that because he was in every trade rumor. So like, okay, why are you saying this? So who knows? Maybe that was the thing. Maybe that was a Jimmy and Bam thing. Like we're not trading. Don't trade Tyler. Like he's our guy. And what can Pat Riley say? Like if he traded him, you gonna test Jimmy Butler? Like, I don't think you should test Jimmy Butler. Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler has won every time you tried to test Jimmy Butler. So I don't know, man. You know what's funny is we're gonna do all this talking and somehow it's still gonna be like Game 7 Bucks Heat Eastern Conference Finals, and we're gonna be like, didn't fucking matter. They're still here. The
Yeah.
zombie Heat, like, you know it. They're gonna be like, or like just some kind of fucking Heat Bucks playoff scenario where they have them on the ropes, and it's gonna be like, okay, didn't matter. Still have them there. Game 6,
Yeah, the Heat
down
are going to be up
3-2 in
like
Milwaukee.
3-2.
Yeah,
And Giannis
100%.
and Dame are going to do something crazy to advance to the finals or something.
We need to remember
I can see
this because 100%.
Last piece of, or last like big piece of all of this is Drew Holiday, because we mentioned him. Obviously, he was part of the deal. Obviously, in Portland now. We mentioned how Portland's already spoken out about how they want to trade Drew Holiday as soon as possible. It's probably a contract thing because he does have the massive contract that he's still sitting on. Portland has no want or need to have to pay that. So I'm sure they're not trying to do that. Where do you see Drew ending up? Earlier today, we're seeing, Magic, 76ers, Boston, Toronto, all interested. The latest update I was seeing is Miami, Boston, and Toronto are expected to show interest in trading for Drew Holiday. Where do you think the future holds for Drew Holiday? What team would you like the best fit? Where do you see Drew?
The two teams that I said as I was talking about this immediately following the trade were your Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. So that tracks because it makes the most sense. Like,
Yes.
those two teams feel like Drew Holiday fits perfectly with them. Feels like he can slot right into a role that they need. Like, if the Celtics somehow stumble into Drew Holiday after trading away Marcus Smart, like, it's just the happiest thing of dumb luck that the Boston Celtics could ever ask for. And I don't know if you'd have to trade Derek. Now, would you get rid of Derek White to trade for Drew Holiday? Or is it going to be Brogdon and all your picks?
Yes, I think that's what it would be.
Then I do it. Then you do that. If they will take Malcolm Brogdon and 2 first-round picks and a swap, or just 2 first-round picks or whatever.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little more. I've been seeing like, and not that I wouldn't do these, but like,
can you imagine if Drew Holiday in his career is traded for like 8 first-round picks total?
I know.
Like, now,
it's crazy how much value.
Right now, he's already got traded for 4. He got traded before again. Like, this man is he has been a part of so many big trades in NBA history. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, that is weird to think about. But yeah, it's crazy to think how much value he has and holds at 34 years old. But I mean, he was still so good last year.
So
it
what
would
was
be
the Celtics?
Incredible.
What would it have to be? More players, Pritchard, Brogdon. I give up more players too. I don't care. Like,
all the trade packages I've been seeing, it's like Hauser, Horford, Pritchard. They're all involved in most of them, which it's probably just to make the money work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that's the thing. God. As a Celtics fan, that's the only reason I wouldn't want Drew, because Dan Greeny brought it up. He's kind of the resident God Celtics Twitter guy. He made up a good point that I hadn't thought about, because I was just excited when I saw the name and him filling in for the Marcus Smart role, like you mentioned. The money would be very tough if you bring in Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
In like ASAP, it would become very tough, because we're already looking at a sticky situation after the contract that Kristaps Porzingis signed when he got traded here. Derek White's going to be eligible for a new deal very soon, and then Tatum has his supermax right around the corner. So it would money-wise, it would be tough. If you could make it happen, I think it's worth it, because I think the odds swing back to the Celtics as being the odds-on favorite to win the title if they make that deal. But I don't know. I'm pretty indifferent on it right now. I think it would be sick. I think it'd be crazy if Brad's able to pull that off. But at the same time, like you said, it's still Milwaukee and Boston in a class of their own in the Eastern Conference. And for the time being, I can live with that. I'm still going to ride with my guys and think they have a fighting chance against anyone. But Drew Holiday, I can't pretend like I wouldn't be happy if that happens.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think Miami is a perfect fit too. And they definitely are going to be, like we said, they're going to be desperate. And that just feels like he feels like a Miami. He feels like he could be a Miami Heat culture guy too. And basically the like a better Kyle Lowry role that he was a couple like last year. Like it would be a nice fit to see him down there. I feel like those are the two places. Toronto, I don't know what the fuck Toronto's doing, bro. What is their deal? They want to trade for David. Like, I love OG Anunoby, but I feel like they're trolling me at this point. Like, do they
That's
really think
crazy.
he's not this good? He's
That
not
seems like it
worth
was a
not
report.
trading for Damian Lillard, bro. What are we talking about?
I was surprised they didn't tag you in that tweet. I thought for sure they were
I felt
directing that
so
at you.
vindicated. I feel like it's me and Masai Ujiri who believe in OG Anunoby and nobody else in the world. It's crazy. I'm like, why would you not trade this man for Damian Lillard? You could have Damian Lillard and Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
What? So I don't think Dame ever really wanted to go to Toronto. I think they might have had the best offer to Portland. If the offer was whatever assets the Raptors have are better than anything that the Bucks could have offered. Just naturally, when they have more picks, they have younger guys. Like I don't know what the deal could have been, but I don't know, man. The Raptors are the most confusing team in basketball to me right now. I have no idea what they want to do or what they think they're doing or anything else. But pour one out for the Bucks too, or the Bulls, because those Dame rumors went and died out right away. There was no way he was coming to the Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. It's just such a crazy situation. Out of nowhere too, man. Like I thought it just maybe.
When's the last time we had a legit Woj bomb? That was a Woj bomb, bro. That was like, and shit.
It's a Woj bomb too, because Adam Schefter during football season quote tweeted Woj with the bomb emoji. It was awesome. Yeah, we haven't had a good Woj bomb in a while. This was nuclear today. Dame Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's the biggest loser today. Man. The biggest loser today is Shams, because he's been getting lapped all summer and he just got worked today, bro. He just got pumped. There was like a 10-6 round. Like Woj just like bop, bop. I got all this shit. Like Shams, biggest loser of the day by far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the answer. It goes Shams, Miami Heat, other. You know, put whoever you want. But
other is the rest of the Eastern Conference probably after Miami.
Yeah,
for real. I'm so terrified, bro, of the first Bucks Cavaliers matchup. That is going to be one of the most miserable. I'm going to be so sad watching that game. It's going to just like, yeah. But I'm so excited. I can't leave on a bad note. I'm so excited to see Dame and Giannis on the court together. Like I'm watching every Bucks game this year.
Dame and that Milwaukee green is going to be crazy as hell.
Bro, how about Dame and Eastern or Central Time? Even better for me.
I know.
Like I've like we've had to like stay up late and watch Dame sleepy our whole lives, and now we get to like watch him in prime time all the time.
I have core memories from like early high school watching Dame at like midnight.
The second quarter just started. ESPN,
yeah. Like the second quarter just started and it's midnight. And I'm having a bowl of cereal on my couch. Like I have to be up in like 5 hours for school.
Yeah, now he's gonna be out at 7 o'clock.
You don't have to do that anymore.
It's great.
Get some 7 o'clock, 7:30 tip offs for Dame. That's nice. Yeah, it's insane, man. This is why we love the NBA, because you have stuff like this a month before the season starts just to shake up our world.
Literally shakes the foundation of the entire league just with one swipe, one move. Nothing like it.
Yeah. You got anything else here, man? Giannis finally has his Robin.
Yeah, maybe Dame has his Robin, for all we know.
Yeah.
Said ramen. I don't know about ramen. I'm just hungry, I guess. I don't know. I
really
don't know.
Milwaukee? He might have that too.
This is a fun argument because I guess, I mean, I don't know. I'm very interested to see who has more points per game by the end of the year, Giannis or Dame.
Points per game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so tough. I think it's probably going to be Dame.
I feel like it could be, but also like if Giannis is just like a pick and roll god. He could average like 35, like a Shaq MVP year, like 33 points a game or something. Like I don't know. I'm just kind of terrified of what Giannis looks like with another real superstar. Like, and that's no shade to Holiday or Middleton, but this is one of the, like I said, NBA 75, one of the best players of all time. This is a different stratosphere. And we've seen what happens when you put guys like this together. So I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like I don't want to oversell it, but also don't know if you can possibly oversell like what it could be.
No, I think
this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right on track, man. And I'm kind of like the other way. I have some other like I have my qualms about this deal for the Bucks, but I also I don't want it to sound like I'm just I am a Celtics fan.
Nah,
But
it
I
is.
don't.
Listen,
I'm not taking away from this, but their defense, like I do think defense is going to be a worry for this squad.
I
And
think
I'll leave it at that.
I think that's why I appreciate this move, because it is ballsy as fuck. And like the
Yeah,
defense in a playoff game, Dame is going to get attacked. They don't have an answer for that on the roster right now.
I saw something earlier, and it was like, Dame to Milwaukee is great and all, but who the hell is going to cover Jaylen Brown in the playoffs?
They're betting on Giannis being generational defensively, and that's a good bet to make. Like, that's a solid bet. Like, it might not work out, but hey, if you have to bet on that, like, fuck, sure. That's why I think the points per game, you're right. Dame gets more points per game because Giannis is just going to be going for DPOY and probably will lock it up because he's just going to focus more on it this year than last couple of years. It's just good. That's what I'm most interested to see. Like, how does it play out? How does the balance work? How do they decide to do it? How do Dame and Giannis want to approach it? What's their intention and what actually works? Like, it's going to be fun to just see them kind of figure it out. I'm watching every Bucks game, bro. You know who my League Pass team is? The Milwaukee Bucks. It's not the Pacers. It's not the Thunder. I will be watching every Bucks game that I can this year just to see, because who knows? It could be 2 years of this. Like, need to just see how it goes. Like, and I don't think it's different for me than like even Durant getting traded to Phoenix right now, just because I think Giannis is just Giannis himself is more interesting. He's a singular, like, unique force that we've ever seen in the game. But also, like, we already thought he was coming in with a revenge tour, and we also already feel like he's a guy that his ceiling could just keep going up. We don't know yet. Like, him and Jokic, I feel like, are the two guys like, damn, like, these guys have exceeded everything. There's no reason to think that they can't keep doing that. And now it's just like, I was so set on him already having a generational season in my brain. And now I'm terrified of I'm going to hate it. Like, I know I'm going to be mad about it in a couple months. So I'm trying to like enjoy the fun of it until it's scary. And then until the Celtics and Bucks have like 60 wins each in the East, and the third place team is like a 48 win Cavalier who gets blown out in the second round. So that's what I'm more, I think, coming to grips with here. But you know what? The Bucks and Celtics war. When's that first Bucks and Celtics game?
Let's see.
Because, man, that's appointment television.
There's always one usually pretty early in the year. November 22nd, so like about a month in.
Okay.
Pretty spread out, all 4 games, honestly. It's November 22nd, January 11th, March 20th, and then April 9th.
All right. Oh, that April 9th game could be huge for all we know.
Massive, monumental.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we got it all covered here.
Yeah, I mean, the first word is what got everyone, man. Damn to the Bucks. It's still just as crazy as it was this afternoon when the trade first happened.
Yep.
Heat fans are sad, Buck fans are ecstatic, and Blazers fans are probably somewhere in the middle because it's bittersweet to say goodbye to a player like Damian Lillard, but they're set up pretty nice for the future and this year, man. Be excited.
And we'll
see on the
if you're really feeling it, they can just go take some like mushrooms, just go buy them from the local mushroom store or some like acid or whatever, and just go like have your best experience with Dame out in the wilderness, and then you'll come back and be very excited about Scoot. I'm just saying, you know, they got it good out there. Oregonians are chilling, bro.
It is pretty funny how polarizing of a player Dame Lillard is, and the two cities he will have played his career in will be Portland and Milwaukee.
He's got a case for the worst two NBA cities for like the greatest player ever. He's going Portland, Milwaukee, but hey,
opportunity to turn both of them
and no disrespect either. But listen, we're calling
it's
a spade here. Listen, I'm telling you, Milwaukee is going to embrace him like nothing else. He's going to be like a rock star there. It's going to be cool to see, I think. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go. I don't know what time. It's 9:30 for you, so maybe to bed.
Yeah, that's probably it. Peace. I'll be dreaming about how the Celtics can stop the Bucks.
Oh,
later, guys.
Don't do that.